Today we're going to be taking a look at Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus. Now, I know a lot of you guys, you didn't really feel All for One and Full Frontal Assault, and you know what? Neither did I. I thought Tools of Destruction, Quest for Booty, and Crack in Time were some of the very best action platformers released during the entire generation, and I can't tell you how happy I am that Insomniac decided to go back to basics with this one. So, you know, even though the series has been around for like over a decade, it's amazing that Insomniac can still, you know, reinvigorate itself and the whole franchise by making it continually fresh and exciting. You know, sure, you have your action, exploration, and platforming sections, but, you know, one way or another, Insomniac is always able to come up with something fresh. In this case, there's two interesting things. First off, we're going to start with Clank. He goes into this other realm. It's called the Netherverse. And here, he has to wake up a beast and then race back to the entrance. And he does this, what makes this unique rather, is the fact that if you manipulate the right analog stick, you can switch the gravity from up, down, left, or right. Now, imagine this. You have this creature chasing you. You have puzzles in the mix and hazards everywhere. It makes for some of the most intense and rewarding parts of the entire game. The other very interesting gameplay mechanic involves something called the Grav Tether. This item, which is always equipped, it allows Ratchet to activate two different platforms and create a funnel which he can then use to travel across. It works sort of like the Airstreams in the Portal series. It makes for, you know, not only some creative puzzles, but also some really cool secrets and secret areas. I also really enjoyed the story because it does a really simple yet effective job of taking everything that the past games did and sort of like wrapping up some loose ends. And, you know, the game is short, but it fits the narrative, well, I found perfectly. Ratchet and Clank are basically transporting Vendra Prague to prison. Her brother comes out of nowhere to her rescue, and then the dynamic duo have to race off in pursuit. It's as simple as that. And it acts as a perfect way to say goodbye to this console generation and welcome something a little bit different. There's also much greater emphasis on action this time around. Gone are the grind rails, interactive platforms, and challenging puzzles. They've all been replaced by more direct methods of transport and lots of enemies. And I know this might sound bad to some of you guys, it's actually a really good thing because the weapons are as fun as ever to use. Many classic weapons return from the previous games, such as your typical blaster, rocket launcher, and my favorite, Mr. Zircon. Love him. Each weapon can be upgraded up to 3 times, and it has a leveling tree, which gives you a lot of freedom in how you actually tweak your weapon's power. In order to upgrade your weapons, you need to find Raritanium, and once you have enough, you can start unlocking new weapon upgrades at your typical vendor. New weapons also feel fresh, like the Winterizer, which plays holiday chimes while transforming enemies into snowmen. Of course, you'll always have your favorites, but that's the way these things go. As a whole, I found the game just feels tighter and more refined than any others in the series. You can easily zip along with your hover boots and then activate Clank's new jetpack attachment to soar in the air, all without breaking the action or going into menus or anything like that. There's also a lot of optional collectibles to find. The classic challenge mode, which increases the difficulty, allows you to power up your weapons even further, and basically just overall increases the replay value. If you enjoy this game, there's a lot of reasons to come back to it. About the only negative thing I can say is that, you know, we have had way too many Ratchet and Clank games released over the past couple of years. This is actually the 6th original Ratchet and Clank game released this generation, and that's just a bit too much. While I appreciate them going back to the series' roots, I would have much rather not had the last two games and had this one a 20-hour adventure. I think that would have been really, really something. In the end, Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus is a wonderful way to close out the series on the PlayStation 3. Sure, it's only about 5 to 8 hours, but that's enough. It's enough to continue the tradition, and honestly is a must-play for longtime fans of the series. I can only hope that Sony will greenlight a PlayStation 4 game in the coming years, but I do highly, 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 highly recommend they stop the yearly releases and just focus their efforts into one nice long game. For the full written review, hit up projectcoe.com.